Back in 2012, legendary Hollywood actor Denzel Washington reportedly raised concerns about Ryan Reynolds, attempting to alert people in the industry. However, his cautionary message failed to gain attention, and most of Hollywood chose to overlook it.
Ignored.
Let's go back to Safe House.
Yes.
This is the movie, and you're co-starring with Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
And the problem that brought for him working with you was that sometimes when he was in a scene, he would forget to act, and he would sit there and be watching you acting.
Oh, is that what it was?
He would.
I just thought he was terrible.
When Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds teamed up for Safe House, it looked like the perfect Hollywood pairing. But behind the scenes, the production reportedly ran into unexpected challenges. Since the film featured many practical action sequences, those demanding stunts became a source of tension, with claims that Ryan struggled to maintain proper physical control during certain scenes. One incident allegedly happened while filming inside a moving vehicle. In the scene, Denzel's character was handcuffed in the back seat and was meant to lean forward to grab Ryan's character. However, when the vehicle suddenly lurched ahead, Ryan's face reportedly collided with Denzel's, leaving the then 57-year-old actor with what has been described as the first black eye of his career.
We're in a car going 80 miles an hour that was all over the road. And somehow our heads collided, and oh man, I knew it the second I made contact with him. I thought that was his eyeball.
Yeah, it was just an accident. It was with his head. Yeah, we just bumped heads.
According to the story, Ryan reportedly tried to brush the incident off with humor instead of treating it as a serious mistake. He allegedly joked that giving Denzel a black eye was his early retirement plan, and even referred to himself as a sorry Canadian. Reports claim Denzel's reaction made it obvious he wasn't amused and felt the situation had gone too far. Critics have argued that Ryan failed to learn from the accident, claiming similar concerns about on-set safety resurfaced in later productions. Some have even pointed to the tragic fatality involving a stunt performer during the filming of Deadpool 2, as part of a broader discussion about safety practices on movie sets, though the exact circumstances of that incident remain separate and have been widely examined.
Movie set.
This stunt actor was billed as the first African-American female professional road racer. She raced motorcycles for a living, but her family says this was her first time working as a stunt actor on a film set. Now, the questions this morning about how did this happen?
According to stories that have circulated about the Safe House production, another incident allegedly raised questions about Ryan Reynolds' professionalism on set. The scene in question was one of the film's biggest emotional moments, requiring Denzel Washington's character to lie on the ground and confess his past mistakes. Crew members have claimed that Denzel approached scenes like this with complete emotional commitment, and usually preferred to complete them in just 2 takes because recreating that level of intensity wasn't easy. As the cameras rolled during what was reportedly the second take, the entire set fell silent while Denzel delivered the emotional performance. Then, according to the story, a loud Frank Sinatra ringtone suddenly echoed through the set, instantly breaking the atmosphere. Reports have alleged that the ringing phone belonged to Ryan Reynolds and interrupted one of the most important scenes in the movie. The account goes on to claim that instead of immediately admitting the phone was his, Ryan initially reacted by asking whose phone was ringing, leading several crew members and stunt performers to come under suspicion. It was only after the assistant director reportedly identified the phone's owner that the confusion was cleared up. As a result, Denzel allegedly had to perform the emotionally demanding scene again, something people familiar with the production say was far from ideal. Years later, Ryan reportedly mentioned the incident during a public appearance, telling the story with humor. However, some critics felt the anecdote reflected poorly on his willingness to take responsibility, while others viewed it as an embarrassing on-set mistake that had simply become a funny memory over time. Not long after Safe House, Denzel appeared on The Jonathan Ross Show, where the conversation turned to Ryan's earlier compliments about working with him. Ryan had previously said there were moments when he became so impressed watching Denzel perform that he almost forgot to act himself. Expecting a warm response, the host brought up those comments. Instead, Denzel jokingly replied, "Oh, is that what it was? I just thought he was terrible." The audience laughed, but the remark quickly sparked discussion among fans, with some interpreting it as playful teasing and others wondering whether it hinted at genuine frustrations from their time on set. Supporters of this narrative argue that any concerns about Ryan's on-set behavior were overshadowed by his growing box office success. As his career continued to reach new heights, those stories faded into the background. Only years later, after other controversies attracted public attention, did some people revisit these older anecdotes and debate whether they carried a deeper message or were simply isolated incidents that had been blown out of proportion.
I heard that Ryan Reynolds was quite starstruck to meet you. You were quite starstruck to meet him as well. What was it like working with him?
I can't imagine he was very starstruck to meet me.
Most people recognize Joe Keery as Steve Harrington from Stranger Things, but he also shared the screen with Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy. At the time of production, Ryan, then 43, held significant influence over the project, serving as both the lead actor and a producer with substantial creative input. Joe, who was 27, joined the film in a supporting role, marking another major opportunity early in his Hollywood career. According to various reports, Ryan's creative decisions led to noticeable changes in Joe's character. The role was initially described as a fairly ordinary programmer, but the character's in-game avatar was ultimately redesigned into a flashy police officer with an exaggerated mustache and a more comedic costume, giving the role a much different look than originally expected. During the film's promotional tour, much of the attention reportedly shifted toward Joe's unusual on-screen appearance. Interviewers frequently asked about the character's design, and several light-hearted jokes were made about the costume and makeover. In one interview, Ryan also stepped in while a journalist was asking Joe a question, creating a moment that quickly caught viewers' attention and sparked discussion among fans.
Joe, I heard Ryan give you quite a compliment yesterday, which was that no one delivers exposition as eloquently as you do in this scene and in this movie.
He's very kind in saying so.
He delivers exposition better than anyone I've ever seen in my life. You make it like entertaining and riveting, all the while looking like a goddamn snack.
Joe Keir's reaction is painful to watch as he bowed his head to hide his face after feeling humiliated. What I see here is a 27-year-old actor being publicly ogled by his 43-year-old boss in front of thousands of people. And there was nothing he could do about it because the man making those comments was the one who controlled his paycheck. But that's not all. As in an interview with Finn Wolfhard, who was Joe Kerr's co-star on Stranger Things, Ryan said, "I'm in love with Joe," and asked Finn, "Is there anything going on between me and Joe Curry?" Years later, during the 2024 Deadpool and Wolverine press tour, Ryan was still at it. He kept calling Joe Dreamboat Joe Curry in interviews and on social media. The whole thing kept going, and the pattern of making a younger actor uncomfortable in public kept repeating itself.
Oh, Joe Keery.
100% Joe
Oh,
Keery. That was a
Dreamboat Joe Keery.
that was-
Joe Keery. I mean, Dreamboat.
One of the most talked about moments involving the Free Guy cast reportedly took place during a promotional event in Brazil. Ryan Reynolds attended alongside the rest of the team, including director Sean Levy and other members of the film's promotional group. According to online accounts, Ryan was surrounded by longtime collaborators throughout the event, while Joe Keery, one of the younger cast members, had far less influence during the press tour. A particular moment from the live panel quickly became the center of discussion. According to people who have commented on the event, Ryan walked over to where Joe was seated and briefly sat on his lap in front of the audience. The interaction immediately drew attention from those watching in person and online. Some viewers have interpreted Joe's body language as suggesting he was uncomfortable, while others saw the exchange as a joke between co-stars during a lighthearted promotional appearance. The clip has since been debated by fans, with different people reaching very different conclusions about what actually happened and whether it should be viewed as playful banter or something else.
Yes. You know what? No, I'll take my own. I'll get my own seat. It's fine. We'll do that after. Woo!
I cannot believe that he actually said this, and almost everyone in that room understood his intention. Many folks were aware that he was using his position to mock a younger colleague in front of an international audience, and everyone saw it when he demanded to know, "Is Joe going to dance for us?" Music like Joe Curry was some kind of performer he could summon on command.
Shall I tell them, or do you want to, Ryan?
I don't know what it is. Is Joe gonna dance for us? What's gonna happen?
Joe is going to dance.
Hit the music.
That could be great. I look forward to that.
One of the most talked about moments came when both actors uploaded identical Instagram photos showing Ryan Reynolds, still wearing his wedding ring, holding a half-peeled banana near Joe Keery's face. To many online, it wasn't the photo itself but Joe's uneasy body language that sparked speculation, with critics claiming he looked visibly uncomfortable. The controversy didn't stop there. Acclaimed director Quentin Tarantino publicly dismissed Ryan's Netflix film career, arguing that despite massive paychecks, those movies had little lasting cultural impact. Around the same time, Gerard Butler admitted he didn't really watch Ryan's films, a comment that quickly spread across social media. Ryan reportedly fired back online, highlighting his charitable work in what many viewed as an attempt to shift the conversation. Instead of quieting the criticism, it only fueled more discussion. Ryan's personal life has also remained under the spotlight. His marriage to Scarlett Johansson lasted from 2008 to 2011, but reports from that era suggested growing tension behind closed doors. Scarlett's career was soaring while Ryan was still searching for his biggest breakthrough, leading to repeated rumors that professional jealousy strained the relationship. In later interviews, Scarlett spoke about the importance of confidence and balance in relationships where one partner's career may be more successful, comments many interpreted as reflecting on that marriage. Not long after their split, Ryan and Blake Lively grew close while filming Green Lantern. Their relationship moved quickly, and supporters often pointed to their chemistry. Critics, however, argued that Blake fit more comfortably into Ryan's leadership style. Questions also surrounded Blake's lifestyle company, Preserve. Former employees described a chaotic workplace allegedly influenced by Ryan, claiming decisions revolved around his inner circle. Reports accused the company of poor working conditions, delayed pay, favoritism, and operating from an unsuitable apartment workspace. Neighbor complaints and employee frustrations reportedly escalated until settlements and strict NDAs allegedly resolved the dispute before it became even more public. To critics, these stories reveal more than isolated incidents. They argue the same pattern: maintaining control over relationships, businesses, and creative projects keeps resurfacing. Whether those claims paint the full picture or only one side of a complicated story remains fiercely debated, but one thing is undeniable. When similar accusations continue appearing across different chapters of someone's career, people inevitably start wondering whether they're looking at coincidence or a recurring pattern.